Beloved child, let me place within your heart a deeper understanding of what you call enough. For in my eyes, enough is not merely a meal on the table, clothes in the closet, a roof over your head through sun and rain, or a reserve that temporarily eases your worry. Enough, in the way I want to teach you, is a holy steadiness within, where you are no longer pulled by outward things like a leaf before the wind. I am not only caring for you so that you may survive, I am shaping you so that you may be at peace. I am not only placing necessary things in your hands, I am placing deep within you a firmness so that even when tomorrow has not yet opened, you will not panic. For there are people who possess much and still lie awake in anxiety. There are people who stand amid full storehouses and still fear losing everything. There are people who think that the more they hold, the safer they will be. Yet inside they grow even more weary. I do not want you to enter the kind of abundance that makes your heart heavy like that. I want you to have an abundance that knows how to rest, how to breathe, how to trust that your source is not in another person's hand, not locked behind an earthly door, not dependent on fluctuations you cannot control. When you understand that I am your source, you will no longer live like someone pushed into a corner. You will not hastily agree simply because you fear that if you miss this time, there will never be another chance. You will not lower what is sacred within you in exchange for a brief convenience. I am teaching you to distinguish between what comes from guidance and what comes from haste, between the door I open and the side path decorated only with false light. There are things that appear beautiful, quick, and alluring, yet carry no peace. There are invitations that make you feel important for a moment, yet quietly pull you away from integrity. There are opportunities that look like rewards, but if you enter them with a troubled heart, they will become burdens. Therefore, I do not only give you what is good, I also give you the wisdom to know what is truly meant for you. You once thought you had to seize every opportunity so you would not be left behind. I know this, for I have seen you many times pressuring yourself, blaming yourself, comparing the pace of your steps with the journey of others. You see them moving quickly, and you think you are slow. You see them expanding, and you think you are small. You hear outside voices saying that you must hurry, must compete, must hold on, must prove yourself. And there were times you believed that if you rested even a little, everything would slip beyond your reach. But my child, not everything running toward you is a blessing. Not every open door is an invitation to enter. Some doors open to test your maturity. Some paths appear so that you may learn how to say no. Some things glitter only to reveal whether you are still being led by the fear of lack, or whether you have learned to stand still in my care. I want you to remember Gideon, the one I called in a time filled with uncertainty, when his people lived in fear and had to hide their grain so it would not be stolen. I did not begin with a large army or a vast arsenal. I began by calling a trembling man to become strong in my hand. But what was even more remarkable was that when Gideon had soldiers, I told him to reduce their number. In human eyes, less meant more danger, according to human calculation. Reduction meant losing an advantage. But I did this to teach that victory does not come from numbers, nor from what you can count, but from my hand that is leading. Gideon had to learn that true safety was not found in the number of people standing around him, but in the one who went before him. In the same way, you may think that one more opportunity, one more connection, one more reserve, one more assurance will make you feel more secure. But sometimes I teach you to let go of some things so you may realize this. What holds you is not quantity, but my presence. So when I allow a few doors to close, do not be quick to see it as loss. when I cause a path that once seemed convenient to suddenly feel heavy in your heart. Do not try to force it open with your own strength. Sometimes delay is a fence of protection. Sometimes silence is a gentle warning. Sometimes not being chosen is the very way I keep you from a place where you would be worn down. I never take from you what truly belongs to you. I only loosen from your hand the things that could pull you away from the path of peace. Do not be afraid when I teach you to wait. Waiting is not being forgotten. Waiting is the place where you are trained not to worship urgency. Waiting is where you learn that my timing is never late, even when it does not bow to your schedule. Waiting is where you are healed from the habit of making decisions out of anxiety. One day, you will look back and understand why I did not allow you to enter certain things you once desired. You will understand why one invitation did not come to pass, why one connection faded, why one plan was halted, even though you prayed much for it. It was not because I was harsh with you, but because I saw what you could not yet see. I saw the outcome when you could only see the beginning. I saw the hidden cost behind things wrapped in attractiveness. I saw the weariness you would have carried if you had chosen from pressure instead of from peace. Therefore, I am teaching you a new kind of courage. The courage not to move when everything outside urges you forward. The courage to refuse when others call it a golden opportunity. The courage to keep your heart pure when you could gain something by trading away the foundations I have placed within you. Beloved child, your maturity is not measured only by what you attain, but also by what you are wise enough not to receive. There are short-lived victories that leave long-lasting marks. There are successes that make others applaud while inside you lose your lightness. There are advances that cause your name to be mentioned, yet pull you far from what I am building within you. I do not want you to merely appear prosperous on the outside. I want you to be whole in peace. I do not want you to become so busy that you can no longer hear my voice. I do not want you to have more while becoming more afraid. I want you to walk like one who knows they are being kept, not like one who must fight for every scrap of hope. Therefore, let peace become the guardian of your choices. When something comes and makes you feel you must quickly betray your values, stop. When a door opens but brings with it intense unrest, bring it before me. When a promise sounds great but requires you to lose your integrity, remember that I do not lead you by pressure. What I give may require faith, may call for courage, may take you out of what is familiar, but it will not force you to lose yourself in panic. My guidance has weight, but it does not crush you. My correction has depth, but it does not drive you to despair. My waymaking may be quiet, but it always carries the mark of lasting peace. Today, I want you to stop seeing enough as the bare minimum for getting through the day. I want you to see enough as a great grace, enough not to fear, enough not to sell your peace cheaply, enough not to chase every voice that calls, enough to stand still when standing still is needed, enough to move when I truly speak within your heart. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to consider carefully. You are allowed to refuse what does not fit. You are not falling behind when you obey my guidance. You are simply being placed where you belong. And when you are in the right place, what belongs to you will not need to be wrestled for through anxiety. It will come at the appointed time, in a way that does not break you, but causes you to recognize that my hand has been quietly preparing everything for a long time. Oh, beloved child, when unexpected things begin to knock on the door of your life, do not let your heart tremble as though you were stepping into a strange place alone. The coming days may not unfold according to the pattern you once imagined. I may place before you paths that were never part of your plans, bring you into contact with people you never thought would be connected to you, and open movements that make you both joyful and bewildered. But do not fear this newness. Not everything unfamiliar is something to worry about. Some unfamiliar things are signs that the old season has been completed and a new door is opening, according to my arrangement. You do not need to understand the entire journey from the very first step. You only need to know that my hand has not left you. When you walk, I lead. When you stop, I hold you. When you do not know which direction to choose, I will cause you to recognize the way through a peace that is gentle yet enduring within your heart. You were once accustomed to carrying everything alone, guessing alone, guarding yourself alone, fearing alone that if you loosened your grip even slightly, everything would fall apart. But now I want to teach you another rhythm of life, the rhythm of one who is being led. There are delays that are not meant to make you lose an opportunity, but to allow what is not meant for you to depart on its own. There are changes of direction that are not signs you are on the wrong path, but the way I lead you away from a narrow road before it wears you down. There are doors that close not because I am rejecting you, but because I am protecting you from stepping into a place that no longer fits your growth. Do not keep grieving where I have withdrawn the light. Do not stand at the threshold of a closed door asking why it no longer opens. When I close a season, it is because I have prepared a wider sky, a place where you can enter without having to carry the old cords of the past. And my child, do not look back with sorrowful eyes, as though what has passed still has the right to call your name. The past may have once taught you, but it is not allowed to rule you. The dark days may have once shaped you, but they are not allowed to define you. I did not bring you out of a narrow place so that you would keep turning your head toward it as though it were an old home. Let what is closed rest in my hand. There are relationships you must release. Sorrows you must stop feeding. Questions you do not need to answer immediately, because time under my guidance will bring clarity to what you do not yet understand. The light is ahead of you, not behind you. What I am preparing does not require you to drag old darkness along to prove that you once suffered. You have been seen. You have been known. You have been lifted up. Now, walk. I also want you to understand that the quiet things you have done have not fallen into forgetfulness. When you chose what was right, when no one praised you, I saw it. When you kept your heart tender in a world that easily makes people dry and hardened, I took notice. When you still behaved kindly, even though you had once been treated coldly, I was nearer to you than you realized. There are tears you quickly wiped away so others would not see, but I saw them. There were times you restrained your anger so you would not further wound someone who was already weak, and I saw that too. There were prayers you silently offered for those who had left you, misunderstood you, or hurt you. And in that moment, you thought nothing had changed, but in my eyes, you were growing in a very deep beauty, the beauty of a heart that knows how to reflect mercy. Remember Joseph, the son of Jacob, who went through roads no one could call easy, from the robe of love to the pit of abandonment, from a stranger's house to the silence of prison. He passed through seasons that seemed forgotten. But what you need to see is not only that Joseph was eventually lifted up. What you need to see is that in every hidden portion, I was quietly weaving a path. The years and places where no one honored him were not meaningless. Faithfulness in small things, integrity when no one was watching, perseverance amid injustice became the foundation for the day he would be entrusted with great responsibility. If Joseph had looked only at the pit, he would have thought his life was over. If he had looked only at the prison, he would have thought he had been forgotten. But I saw the storehouses waiting ahead. I saw the people who would be saved. I saw a plan greater than the pain before his eyes. In the same way, beloved child, there are parts of your life you thought were delays, but in my hand, they were preparation. Therefore, do not underestimate the days when you are quietly faithful. Do not say that your small efforts are insignificant. I do not build great things only through dazzling moments. I build through hidden endurance, through repeated righteous choices, through faith that still burns when no applause is heard. The world often looks at the final result and calls it luck. But I look at every step you have taken and call it growth. You are not being brought into a new season because you were never weak. You are being brought into a new season because, in the midst of weakness, you still return to me. You are not entrusted with greater things because you never stumbled. You are entrusted because after every weariness, you still chose to rise again in the light. And now, prepare your heart for a very gentle harvest, the harvest of peace. Perhaps it will not come with a loud sound. Perhaps not every problem before your eyes will immediately disappear. But you will recognize something strange and beautiful. Your heart will no longer be stirred up as it once was. The things that once made you lose sleep will suddenly no longer have the power to control you. The words that once wounded you will no longer pierce as deeply as before. The unanswered questions may still remain, but they will no longer drive you into panic. That is the sign that I am placing order within you. That is, when my presence touches the places that were once chaotic and causes them to become quiet. Peace is not because you hold every outcome firmly in your hands. Peace is because you know that I am holding you. You will see your mind become clearer, not because you suddenly understand everything, but because the fog of fear is gradually lifting. You will see your steps become lighter, not because your life no longer has responsibilities, but because you are no longer carrying burdens I never told you to carry. You will find that you can smile without everything being perfect, rest without feeling guilty, wait without seeing waiting as punishment. When I enter a place, darkness cannot remain in its old position. When I touch a heart, confusion can no longer sit on the throne. I do not always answer you by explaining every detail many times. I answer by placing within you a gentle certainty, though you do not yet know everything. I know everything, though you do not yet see everything. I see everything, though you have not yet arrived. I have already prepared that place. So, my child, receive new things with a guarded heart. Do not be hasty, but do not close yourself off because of fear. Do not cling to the past like an old worn garment, but do not enter the future with arrogance either. Walk with humility, with watchfulness, with faith that I am leading you through layer after layer of light. What has been lost cannot stop what I am giving. What has closed cannot oppose what I am opening. Those who once failed to see your worth cannot erase what I have placed within you. This new season is not coming to make you louder, but to make you steadier, not to make you proud of yourself, but to help you know me more deeply, not to make you run quickly in panic, but to walk steadily in peace. Keep your heart pure, your eyes looking forward, and your hands open in trust. I have seen your quiet days. I have heard the words you did not speak aloud. I have counted the times you chose mercy instead of retaliation, patience instead of bitterness, prayer instead of giving up. Not one thing is forgotten in my sight. And when peace begins to bloom in your heart like dawn after a long night, do not doubt it. Receive it. It is not an illusion. It is a sign that I am with you, going before you, opening the way for you. As long as you know that I am holding all things, that is enough for you to continue walking. Beloved child, I do not come to you with the whip of pressure, nor do I place a tall ladder before you and demand that you climb it all in one day. I know you are tired. I know there are marks in your heart that cannot be healed instantly with only a few words. I know there are fears that have been with you for so long that you have mistaken them for part of yourself. Therefore, what I desire from you first is not a radiant transformation that astonishes everyone, nor a perfectly moral appearance according to the cold measurements of the world. What I desire is that you dare to open even a small crack in your heart to believe that you still belong to my love. Just a small crack, my child. A very quiet whisper saying, I still want to believe. A weak glance turned toward the light. A very slow step that does not turn away. To me, these things are not as small as you think. They are signs that deep within you, there is still a desire to live in grace. I do not blame you for moving slowly. The world often measures the journey by speed, by results, by things that can be seen immediately. But I see differently. I look at the truth hidden beneath each step. There are people who move very quickly, yet their hearts are far from me. There are people who speak many strong words, yet within they are closing themselves off. There are people who look as though they have overcome everything, yet in truth they are only hiding their pain beneath a garment of calm. But you, though you may tremble, though you may not yet know how to pray completely, though you may still hesitate before healing, if you have not sealed your heart shut in despair, then I can still work within you. What grieves me is not that you are weak. What grieves me is when you believe you are no longer worthy of being loved, that there is no way back, that you have no share in the good things I have prepared. Do not let the voice of pain become the final voice over your life. There are times when you think, I only come when you are clean, strong, stable, and trustworthy. But no, I come while you are still covered with the dust of the road, still confused among unanswered questions, still gathering small fragments of courage to stand again. I do not wait until you are perfect before loving you. It is my love that gradually renews you. I do not love you because you have taken every step correctly. I love you so that you may learn to walk rightly in the light. Therefore, do not turn your weakness into a wall that keeps me away. Let it become the place where you allow me to touch you. The things you are ashamed of, the memories you want to hide, the chapters of life you do not want anyone to mention. I do not look upon them with condemning eyes. I look upon them with compassion, because I know you have carried more than you have ever spoken aloud. And within that tenderness, there is a motherly love from the heavens that never ceases to intercede for you. Your mother sees the nights when you are exhausted, the days when you try to smile, though you are cracked within, the times when you want to return to me but fear you are not worthy enough. She does not stand far away to reproach you for being slow. She stands near in silence, asking me to uphold you, asking me to be patient with your hesitant steps, asking me not to let you be swept away by voices that cause you to hate yourself. Do you know this? True love does not hurry to crush the one who is weak. True love knows how to bend down, how to wait, how to extend a hand before the child has enough strength to rise. Your mother understands this, and I am doing the same with you, not to indulge you so that you remain in darkness, but to give you enough safety to step out. Remember Elijah, the one who had once stood strong before the crowd, yet later became so weary that he ran into the wilderness and only wanted to give up. He did not lack a calling, nor did he lack experience of my power, but he still had a moment of exhaustion, fear, and loneliness when he lay under the tree in weariness. I did not rebuke him with harsh words. I did not ask why he was weak. I did not force him to rise immediately and do something great. I let him rest. I fed him. I cared for him before he continued to hear my voice. Do you see? There are times when the holiest thing is not to keep running in exhaustion, but to let me nourish you again with tenderness. I know when you need correction, but I also know when you need to be held in peace. And many times, healing does not begin with thunder, but with a meal, a rest, and a very gentle reminder, your journey is not over. From that place of being upheld, I want you to look at your pain with a new light. The losses you have gone through, are not proof that your life has been forgotten. The wounds you carry are not the end of your beauty. I can take what once caused you to fall and turn it into the place where strength is born. This does not mean the pain itself was good, nor does it mean I rejoiced when you were wounded. No, I suffered with you in those things, but my power is greater than the darkness that touched you. I can give new meaning to the chapters you thought were nothing but loss. I can turn tears into holy sensitivity, loneliness into the ability to listen, and broken days into compassion for those standing at the edge of despair. One day, you will realize that the things you once asked to be erased from memory became the very place from which you could understand others more deeply. When you sit beside someone who is crying and do not rush to teach them to be strong, you are using the tenderness born from your own suffering. When you listen to someone's story without judgment, because you know that people can fracture in ways no one sees, you become a sign of mercy. When you tell your journey not to receive pity, but to testify that grace can still rise after a season of ashes, you are giving your pain a new meaning. It is no longer a chain binding you to the past. It becomes a bridge by which you draw near to those who need comfort. I understand why you avoid it. Facing yourself is not easy. Looking into the dark places of the heart can make you feel ashamed. Admitting that you have grown cold, delayed, and become accustomed to distance can hurt. But my child, truth in my hand is not a blade meant to tear you apart. It is the instrument of a father who wants to remove thorns from your wound. If you keep hiding the wound because you fear pain, it will quietly weaken you. If you dare to bring it before me, though trembling, embarrassed, and unsure what to say, I will not turn my face away. I do not need you to present yourself eloquently. I do not need you to prove you are strong enough. I only need you to be honest. A very small prayer, a sigh directed toward me, a weak confession that you hear but do not yet have the strength to obey, is already a crack through which light can enter. Do not underestimate that small crack. Many great returns begin with a very small honesty. Many streams of restoration begin with the first tear after months when you thought you could no longer cry. Many lives are rebuilt not from thunderous promises, but from the moment a person stops pretending they are okay. You do not need to create a glorious return for me to listen. You only need not to close the door. Do not let pride disguise itself as strength. Do not let numbness disguise itself as maturity. Do not let the habit of having heard it before make you lose the ability to revere and love. As long as you still know how to bow your head before the truth, you are still soft in my hand. As long as you can still say, "Please, hold me back," you have not gone too far. I also want you to understand that my seriousness is always wrapped in mercy. I do not call you out of lukewarmness to shame you before heaven. I call you out so that you will not slowly die in a distance you do not even recognize. I do not reveal what needs correction in order to lower you. I shine light upon it to set you free. What I touch today is not meant to make you lose hope, but to keep your hope from being buried beneath years of delay. Sometimes you think you need more time, but what you truly need is one honest moment. Sometimes you think you must wait until you are stronger before returning, but in truth, the very act of returning will make you stronger. I am not standing at the end of a distant road waiting for you to crawl to me on your own. I am already walking toward you the moment you turn your face back. So, my child, if today my word makes something ache within you, receive it as grace, not condemnation. If there is a silence in your heart that makes you want to look again, do not quickly fill it with noise. If you realize that you have heard much but responded little, known much but not lived accordingly, do not despair. That realization is a sign that the light is still working within you. Speak to me with the simplest words: that you are weak, that you are slow, that many times you have let truth pass by. but that you do not want to close yourself off completely. As soon as you speak honestly like that, I will enter. I will soften what has become dry, warm what has grown cold, wipe away the mist covering the mirror within you, so that you may once again see clearly who you are in my love. And from today onward, do not let another reminder pass by like a passing breeze. Hold it like a seed, place it in the hidden depths, and let me cause it to sprout into a new life, clearer, humbler, and closer to me each day.